Hey guys, it's Carrie Sue at Law in Kansas City, and I am headed to the courthouse this morning. It's a absolutely spectacular day. It's about 77. It's beautiful, sunny. Finally, no rain here in Missouri. Woohoo! Anyway, as I was headed to the courthouse, I was thinking, oh, it's spring. Here's when people start making a lot of mistakes on what to wear to the courthouse. So I wanted to do a quick little video giving you like four things, four tips. Okay? So number one, a lot of courts do not allow you to bring in your cell phone. Sometimes they are really good about having signs posted, sometimes not, but for some reason, people never see the signs. This happens all the time. You get through security, you've waited in line, you get up there, and they go, oh, by the way, you can't have a cell phone in the courthouse. And you have to truck back to your car and start all over. For some of you guys in certain counties, that's a bigger deal than in other times, and it can make you late getting into court, which can cause some major problems. If it's a traffic case, they could go ahead and issue a warrant for your arrest. If it's a civil case and they've called it, your creditor might already have a judgment against you. So don't make the mistake. Just leave your cell phone in the car. Don't even take the chance. It's just not worth it. So tip number two is, guess what? It may be nice outside, but that doesn't mean that you can wear shorts into the courtroom. No shorts, not allowed. You're also not allowed to wear hats. No ball caps, no hats of any sort. I haven't really ever noticed whether there was a problem with someone maybe who had cancer. That you might be able to wear it and you might not. You might have to take it off. So that is a good question. When you go through security, you can ask them. If they don't know the answer to that, when you get into the courtroom, you can ask the bailiff. So I'm going to tell you how to do that here in the next tip number 3. So the other thing is, what do you do if you goof up and you wear a hat, wear shorts, or whatever? So first of all, the thing to do is when you go into the courtroom, okay, there is certain areas that you can go, and like you go in and you sit down, and there's certain areas that you can only walk into with permission. So there's this thing called the bar, and what it is it's like a little semi-wall, and it divides, the seating area in the back and the court area in the front. So there'll be a little place for you to walk through or whatever, but you're not allowed to go past the bar unless you're an attorney, okay, without your case being called. So, or if the clerk, calls you up there, or the sheriff calls you up there. So, what you'll do is if you need to talk to the clerk, the bailiff, something like that, because you've forgotten, oh God, I forgot I wasn't supposed to wear shorts. Oh gosh, I forgot that I wasn't supposed to wear a hat, and what do I do with that? If you have a particular situation. So you go up to the bar area, and the sheriff is going to be in a police type uniform. Okay. Usually it's a different color than your local police. The sheriffs have their uniform, the police have their uniform, but you'll know that they still have a weapon most of the time, right? So just call them up. Just kind of motion for them to come over there and tell them your situation, and then they'll probably get your name. And if the judge is not going to allow you to come and appear in front of him in shorts, at least the bailiff can, or the clerk, if the clerk, you do the same thing if the clerk's sitting there and nobody else is really in the courtroom, there's no bailiff or anything. Sometimes you can kind of do the same thing, motion to the court, to the clerk, and just sometimes you can ask the question right there. Sometimes they'll motion for you to come up, to the bench, where the judge and the clerks sit. So at that point, again, you can kind of let them know. So worst case scenario, if you're not allowed to appear because you have shorts on, at least the court will know that you are there. So what's the advantage of that? First of all, if it's a traffic case, a criminal case, they probably will just give you a new court date and will not do a warrant. Now, you might get in trouble, from the judge, but at least they're not going to issue a warrant, which is your biggest thing, okay? If it is a civil case, sometimes what will happen is the judge, knowing that you've been there, again, will grant a continuance and set a new court date. Now, don't use this as an excuse to try to go and get a continuance when you think you're not going to be allowed to get a continuance, especially if you've been there before and the judge has continued your case. Don't think you're smarter than the judge, because the judge only has so much patience, and they have certain procedures, and so they may give you a continuance and they may not give you a continuance. They may tell you to stay and go up in front of the judge and then just yell at you about wearing shorts. I don't know. So anyway, I just want you to know kind of what some of the options are, just in case you goof up, and hopefully just to completely avoid it in any way, shape, or form. So certainly I think, the tip number 4 is that you don't want to be late for court. Period. End of story. Do not be late. Not because of traffic, not because of the weather, not because of anything, okay? There is no excuse that the judge is going to listen to about why you were late. And if you're late, the court, if they've already called your case, you're out of luck. So if it is a criminal case, again, traffic ticket, something like that, they may go ahead and issue a warrant. Now, same thing on the civil case. If they've already granted the creditor a judgment against you, too bad, so sad. Like, the court's probably not going to do anything. Now, what do you do if you are late, okay? Because sometimes things do happen. I've definitely had some people, maybe you have a flat tire or something else. You want to make sure when you're going to the courthouse, make sure you have the court's phone number just in case something does happen on the way, and absolutely call the court if you're going to be late. Now, the best thing is to try to make sure that you've done that at least 10 to 15 minutes before court starts, because the clerk might still be taking phone calls at that point. Not guaranteed, but at least that's your best shot. Even if you have to call after the fact, sometimes they will go ahead and, at least in the traffic situation, they will go ahead and, pull the warrant, not issue the warrant, and, give you a new court date. It's not like they're going to call you back and let you know what that is. You're going to have to check CaseNet to find out. Which is another good point, really quick, is that, certain things are not going to show up on CaseNet, whether your case is set for that day or not. So if you have a paternity case, that is that you have a child custody case and you are not married to the person, you're not going to probably see that on the court's website. On CaseNet, they don't publish those things as a protection to the child. If you have an order of protection case, that's, again, something that may not show up on the docket if you look that up in CaseNet. Now, same thing if you have the court sometimes posts all the cases that are being heard that day on a sheet outside of the courtroom. So sometimes those kind of cases may be on there and they may not be on there. So just be aware. If you're confused about that, again, making sure whether your case is on the docket, do the same thing. Go in early, ask the sheriff, ask the court clerk, something like that. And there are times when things have been moved to a different courtroom, things of that nature. So you don't want to sit there and be in the wrong spot. So if they do have a list outside the courtroom, you don't see your name, make sure that you check in and ask about that, because you could just be in the wrong courtroom. So again, there can be some problems with that if you're in the wrong place, okay? If court has already started and you can't ask the bailiff or the court clerk, go back down to wherever not the division clerk, but the actual court clerk is, and they should be able to help you look that up. So, usually the court clerk is on the first floor of the building, so run back down there. If you can't figure out, don't know where that is, go back to security and ask them. So all of those things are good reasons why you want to get to the courthouse early. So anyway, guys, I think that's about all the time I have. I got to run in, but hopefully that was helpful for you, kind of understanding a little bit about what to do when you go to the courthouse and keeping you from making some of the mistakes that a lot of people will make. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye.